on the mic, I guess. I need to
I'm
do that.
live. Here we go. I'm going to go into the live show listen. And I believe I am live on video and in Discord. Steve, are you in Discord yet?
Yes, I'm in Discord.
All right, good. I see you. I see you chatting away in there. All right. Well, welcome everybody. I saw a new name come in, Steve.
You did.
Yeah.
And would that be
that Jeannie is here?
Oh, hey Gene, how you doing?
Hi, Gene. How are you?
Long time no see.
But the name, let's see, they disappeared. Where did they go? Somebody came in with a name I had never seen before. Carstairs. Karstairs. And they are now gone.
Must have been an accident.
Yeah, but that's odd. So let's see. Let me do see whether there's any chance I've got Hindenburg set up right here. I think my audio sounds good.
Good.
Find out. Preferences, audio. No, I want that USB playback through there. I record from pass through. Is that right?
Have you put up the draft of this?
Yes.
You have. Okay.
Yes. 669.
All right.
Pass through. That's where it should be. Okay. All right. So let's see what I got going here. Let me do a little test record. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeed.com. At the beginning. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeed.com. All right. Did you guys hear that playback?
Audio sounded good.
Okay. It only counts if they say it, though.
All right. We'll give them a chance.
All right. Because last time it did not work. So, back to preview here, and we'll go here, and we'll close this. All right. I think we are just about ready here. Do one more thing. Do that. There we go. That's a little bit better. All right. It is time for roll call. Long after roll call. The wingman is in the house. We got Steve and his wingman, Kevin, and Donald Burr may actually be in the show, and Brett and Gene McDonald and John and Nuclear John and Rose, Rick C, Sandy, Scamar, and I can't remember what Scamar's name, and Stefan Lesage. They're both orange. I'm not sure what that means. And we've got TJ at the end there.
Scamar is Eris Scamagus. Scamagus.
I think I'll go with Scamar then.
I think that's why. That's why.
Might be making life easy for us, right?
Yes.
All right. Let's see. Intro music there. Oh, I was scrolled. TJ, hi everyone. TJ's found another fun thing to do.
Yeah, he's always.
You're the great experimenter, TJ. All right. Oh, and I am drinking I am not drinking Ballast Point Devil Share, but I'm drinking in a Ballast Point Devil Share glass. This is a rye brought to us by Tom Merritt last night.
Wait, are you drinking whiskey and rye?
Isn't there a song about that?
Yeah, I think Elton John did that.
All right.
No.
I think I'm going to start recording.
No, it was. Wait, I got to get this.
It's going to bother me. And rye singing these.
This will be
the day that
wasn't Elton John. That was
Don McLean.
Don McLean. Thank you. All right, I'm good. We can move.
I would like the record to show that I knew a song
before I did.
You did not. All right, here we go. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeed.com. Wait, that's not loud enough. Is it? Why are you
plenty loud here?
Was it?
You talking about the jingle?
Yeah.
Jingle's plenty loud.
Hang on. That was really quiet to me. I could barely hear it to tell where to make my transition. I'm going up a little bit. There we go. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted on Podfeed. Jeez.
It's not like you do this every week.
I blame the rye already. Oh, I'm missing a light. There we go. Oh, by the way, there's no Tesla here this week. She just left for a 3-week vacation at Lindsay's house.
Yeah, we're Tesla-less.
It's very sad.
Hard to say.
All right, here we go. Third time's a charm, as Brett says. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Apple bias. Today is Sunday, March 4th, 2018, and this is show number 669. Well, this is the last show before Steve and I take off to Paris to celebrate our 35th wedding anniversary. We're leaving the show in the capable hands of Alistair Jenks and Bart Bouchat, so you will have two NosillaCastaways. Wait, NosillaCasts while we're gone. Well, Alistair has his show pretty much buttoned up already. I'm not sure how he did that, but he's actually recorded almost all of it. But I'm positive Bart would love some listener reviews if you have the time. It'd mean a lot to me and definitely to Bart if you could do a review and send it to podcasting@bartificer.net. By the way, that's, of course, a link in the show notes because nobody knows how to spell Bartificer except for Bart. Anyway, podcasting@bartificer.net. Now, I'm only talking about like 3 to 5 minutes, just pick something up off your desk that you use all the time and you just never told us about it. Go ahead and make a recording. Now, since I won't be doing those shows, there will be no live NosillaCast for the 11th or the 18th of March. But if you want to go hang out in the Discord chat at podfeet.com/chat on Sunday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific time, that's cool with me. Like I've said before, I think I'm pretty much incidental to the whole thing now anyway. So just let me know what Kevin says behind my back. Okay, Rose and Sandy, I'm counting on you guys to keep me up to date. I got to tell you, I'm going to miss you guys while we're gone. It's one of the highlights of my week to hang out with you guys every Sunday. Oh my gosh, Kevin, that's epic.
That's a great shot.
That's an awesome
What's your kitty's name again, Kevin? I forget.
Is his name Wingman?
No, maybe Wingman 2.
Why does my
Daisy? That's of course right. We knew that.
Daisy. Do you sing that to her all the time? Kitty looks very wise for a little kid. I like TJ.
That goes really well with your little symbol there, TJ.
What does?
His avatar. That awe.
Oh, I don't see his avatar when he in
Discord.
I don't see it in Discord.
You don't see the avatars next to everyone's name?
I just see the name.
Is that everybody or just TJ?
On everybody, I just see the name.
Oh, I see all their avatars.
Oh man, I got to change my preferences.
Turn on your avatars for goodness sakes.
Where is that? Connections?
Probably preferences.
No, that's good. Voice and video notification keybinds. Is that text and images?
Someone in here's got to know.
TJ, tell me
where? How do you turn on enable avatars?
Take a screenshot of what you like, just of TJ's awe. You're telling me that you can see,
like Kevin's face is his and Sandy's face.
No, yeah. I don't see that at all. I just see the time and then the name.
Appearance. So
yeah, I'm on appearance. So I have light or dark. Messages like cozy or compact. What is your set to? Chat font scaling.
Appearance cozy.
Oh, you're just cozy?
No, TJ's saying cozy.
Ah.
Where is appearance?
It's in the preferences.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let me see. Cozy does it. Now I've got the little things. Okay, now let me go back.
Now do you see TJ's avatar next to him?
Yeah, that is good. Okay, thank you, TJ. All right, back to work. Okay.
Really?
I did not do a chapter marker, even though nobody told me not to, but I didn't do one.
Come on, Wingman.
Well, it's not time for chapter marker.
He probably did it.
Okay, here we go. In Chit Chat Across the Pond this week, Bart finished up the Cellular Automata series in Programming by Stealth. With my departure to foreign lands, Chit Chat Across the Pond, both Light and Programming by Stealth will be taking spring break. Woohoo! Anyway, Bart didn't give us homework over spring break. Woohoo! But he did give us some ideas of ways to practice things we've learned. Between drinking fine wine and fattening myself up on fabulous French bread, I'm not sure I'm going to get to the chance and the time to work on the assignment. But if you guys want to go do the extra credit work, you guys can go ahead and do that.
All right.
Now
contest. Where does spring break woohoo come from?
There you go.
Who can name the show?
Uh-oh. Man, shift enter.
Okay. By the way,
why isn't that
Kevin wants you to put in a
yeah, but it's not working.
Uh-oh.
That's not good.
Mm-mm.
That's weird.
Maybe because you're in the cozy mode.
No, something's wrong. No chapters defined. Command shift enter. Command shift enter. There, it did it. Oh, that was weird. So I copy this. URL title. Link. And paste. Boom. All right. Now it is time for the Cloud Mounter article. Oh, I found a typo in there. Up. Finished up. There it is. And it wasn't supposed to say NosillaCastways. It was supposed to, we have two NosillaCasts. Cloud Mounter. It's getting really, really, really hard for me to find things in my own blog because Steve is doing all the CES interviews and Alistair has done a ton of work ahead of time. So
we're just ahead of the game, Podfeet.
Yeah. Oh, Steve, I thought of something. Have you put reminders into maybe reminders or Wunderlist or something for us to spam your blog posts as they come out?
No, I haven't.
You might want to do that to time them to get
is
reminders.
Is that possible from France?
I don't know.
Okay, we'll give it a try. The hard part is reminding myself.
Sandy's add it to your Paris to-do list.
All right.
Sandy's asking for sausage to be made. Well, come on, I'm doing my part. I'm drinking rye. My ice cubes are almost melted already, though.
You don't want too many cubes.
Do you know, I haven't gotten a number right on a podcast in like the last 3 weeks. All the numbers are wrong. I've had the wrong number for the NosillaCast, the wrong number for Chit Chat. It's a mess. All right, here we go. I didn't already do Cloud Mounter, right?
No, you did not.
I'm checking with Brett. Hey, Brett, did I already do Cloud Mounter?
It's a good idea to check with Brett. Sandy might know too.
Yeah, I would trust either one of them over you. Okay.
No, you didn't.
Okay. 10 Allison, some fresh sauce should sit on the porch while we're gone. Wait a minute. Did Brett write yet?
But Kevin said you didn't.
Yeah, I don't trust Kevin. And do you not understand who I don't trust? It's you and your wings.
Says you think you did.
What? Oh no, Brett says I'm not at home to check these things. I'm going to have to count on Kevin.
Do you want me to check right now?
Yeah, I know I posted it. I'm sure I didn't do it.
Okay, I'll check the post date. Okay, that will.
It's whether it's in the podcast that's the problem.
I know, but if it was posted after the last podcast, I'm pretty sure you could not have done it. No, it was
posted before the last podcast.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
Oh, then we better check.
Wait a minute. Why does it say January 19th?
For what?
Cloud Mounter.
Mine says February 25th.
Oh God, what a mess. That must be the date I started it. Oh Lord. It's getting hard. Okay. I'm reading it. I don't care what you people say.
Give me a moment. It's not in your title, so I assume it's not in there.
Oh, sure. We've proven that that's
hold on. I'll look at the post. No, it is not. You're good. Okay.
That gave me time to sip another. God, that is so tasty. We should probably take a look at the bottle, show them the bottle before we close out tonight. Okay, here we go. I said go. Jimmy. Okay, you aren't muted, my dear.
Muted now.
Sure you are. Oh, I guess that. I've recently come across an interesting service called Cloud Mounter. Cloud Mounter is designed to help manage the plethora of cloud storage services that we're all using today. Now, I'm going to dig into more of the specifics of the problems it solves as I go through the review. If you've taken a look at Cloud Mounter in the past and you didn't see the value of it, stick with me on this. Because when I first looked at it, I didn't think it was for me either. But luckily, my contact at Altima, the makers of Cloud Mounter, wouldn't let me walk away until he was sure I understood what it could do. This guy was relentless. He kept saying, "No, you don't understand it, Allison." And he was right. I'm really glad we did this because I do think it's a very valuable service. Now, you may also have walked away because you didn't like their pricing model, but that has changed recently with version 3.0. So if that was the reason you walked away, it's worth taking another look at Cloud Mounter. Now let's walk through the different kind of problems Cloud Mounter solves. Cloud storage is great. Let's say you get a terabyte on Dropbox. You start filling that all up with data, and Dropbox automatically keeps a local copy and a cloud copy. Pretty soon, this becomes a problem because you don't have enough internal storage to keep all of that data locally. Now, applications like Dropbox, they do have a service called Selective Sync. So you can pick and choose which files are locally stored and which ones you have to go to the web service to go get. But it requires you to keep managing those folders, and you have to go to the web to get to it. Now, what if you add Microsoft's OneDrive and Box and Google Drive and OneDrive? Okay, I wrote OneDrive in there twice.
So just say 2 drive. It'd be good.
No, nobody noticed that before. Let me get rid of it in here. Make sure I push that one back up to the cloud. Let's see. Make sure I know where I am. Go to the web to get to it. There you go. And what if you add OneDrive? And what if you add OneDrive and Box and Google Drive to your arsenal? They all have selective sync options as well, but your management job just completely multiplied. You've got all this great free storage, but you've got all this work to do to keep track of it. Cloud Mounter solves this problem in a very interesting way. You install Cloud Mounter on your Mac or PC, and then you add connections to your various cloud services. Once you've authenticated to them using Cloud Mounter, each storage service shows up as a virtual mounted drive. It's not a folder on your desktop. Nothing is synced locally to your machine, and yet it's all available to you as though it was on a drive connected to your machine. Now, of course, that's as long as you have an internet connection, because nothing is local. You can, of course, have these services installed separately from Cloud Mounter. So let's say you want some files locally synced for times when you're off the net. You can do that in parallel to using Cloud Mounter for the rest of it. You don't really have to choose between the two. You do need to enable a Cloud Mounter extension in System Preferences in order to see the loading status of the files you'll have located on your mounted drives. Cloud Mounter walks you through how to do it, so it's pretty easy. There are 2 ways to view your virtual cloud drives. You can navigate to the top level of the Finder, or you can use the menu bar app to show them in the Finder. This concept of a virtual mounted drive really solves a problem I have. I use a separate account on my Mac to do the video screencast for Screencasts Online, and I need to have the files in Dropbox for Don. Often I want to mess around in a recording from my personal account, which means I have to have everything synced from both accounts on the same machine, which means I've got twice as much storage being wasted, and these are big, big files. Using Cloud Mounter, I can save that disk space and only sync it on one account instead of both, and yet still have access to those files on both accounts. The cloud services available in Cloud Mounter are Dropbox, Google Drive, Amazon S3, OneDrive, Web Dev Servers, OpenStack, Swift, Backblaze, and Box. You can also add servers using FTP, FTP with implicit SSL, FTP with TLS SSL, and SFTP. To be honest, I'm not sure what the difference is between those last 3, but I'm sure Bart could tell you. Anyway, you'll notice that iCloud is not in that list. It's really a shame that Apple doesn't allow Cloud Mounter access to iCloud Drive in the same way that the other services do, but the developers of Cloud Mounter keep looking for a way to do it. I really want Cloud Mounter to be able to access iCloud Drive because it doesn't allow any kind of selective sync. And I know Apple says, don't worry your pretty little head about it. We'll manage the storage for you. But, I still want control. Another problem with cloud services is when you have multiple accounts with the same service. A lot of people have Google Drive for work, but also have a personal Google Drive. You can't actually be logged into 2 accounts at the same time. With Cloud Mounter, though, you can have multiple connections to the same service, and you get to name those connections. So you can name one Google Drive for work and Google Drive for home, and be logged into them both And by being able to name them in that way, it's going to make it much less likely that you store the wrong data on the wrong account. Now, I have to say, I'm finding it invaluable to have multiple mount points stored in CloudMounter for my Podfeet server via CloudMounter's SFTP connection. I created one connection with a mount point to my media upload directory and another connection that takes me to the top level of my blog that I need to get to all the time. So it's super useful to be able to jump right to those two different areas without drilling up and down in a complex directory structure. I can have as many of those mount points as I want. Now, you may have several cloud storage services and need to move data between them. Let's say you've got a giant video you've created and you stored it in OneDrive, but your client needs to get it in Dropbox. To move it using the native clients for those services, you have to move the file from OneDrive to your local disk and then back up to Dropbox. You also have to make room on your local drive for that temporary storage of your video. With CloudMounter, you can mount your OneDrive and Dropbox accounts and simply drag the file between the two using their bridges between services. No data ever gets moved twice, and you don't have to have local space available for the video. This feature of CloudMounter would also allow you to manually back up files from one service to another for a higher level of redundancy. Now, let's say you have seriously limited bandwidth. You may never have considered cloud services as a viable option for you. But with CloudMounter, you can keep data from syncing back and forth over your network and only manually move data when your caps are manageable. My Uncle Bob has a very, very capped service, but he's got better speeds in the middle of the night and more data allowed in the middle of the night. So he could set up something to say, okay, push this file up there in the middle of the night and not waste his precious bandwidth during the day. One of the recent enhancements to CloudMounter is the ability to encrypt the data in your cloud services. I know that lack of encryption has held me back from keeping certain things in cloud storage. And I know I could create encrypted disk images locally and put them up there, but it's a lot of extra faffing around. With CloudMounter 3.0, you can encrypt the entire connected drive right from the menu bar app. You choose and verify a password for encryption and add a password hint if you want. They warn you that if you lose your encryption password, they will not be able to help you to get your data back. That's a good thing. They encourage you to save your encryption password in your keychain, which is checked by default. I, of course, did not, and I put it in 1Password. Now, they show a screenshot online of being able to selectively right-click on a file, or on a folder, I think it is, and choose Encrypt from the contextual menu. But I have not been able to get that to work for me. I'm not really sure how to enable that feature. I did tell it to encrypt the virtual drive, but I said I was able to choose only encrypt new files, which was pretty cool. I tested this idea of being able to just right-click on a folder. I tried it on Dropbox and Google Drive, but neither one showed the encrypt option on the folder-by-folder basis. I asked the developers what I've done wrong, and I don't really understand the answer. Well, the one downside to CloudMounter is that you really can't search your virtual cloud drives for files. Before High Sierra, there was a workaround to this in a kernel extension called Fuse that allows remote servers to be navigated and searched as though the files were local. Fuse doesn't work with High Sierra, so that option is gone. I'm not a big fan of installing kernel extensions from a security perspective anyway, so I'm not too upset about this, but if Fuse was something you liked, it doesn't work in High Sierra. But I did want to let you know that if you you're going to need to poke around in your drives to find things if you're using CloudMounter. Now, if you're handy with the terminal, you can search inside virtual mounted drives inside CloudMounter. So that's another way to do it. And it's a reason to take the classes Bart taught us in the Taming the Terminal podcast series. Now, I mentioned up front that you might want to look at CloudMounter again if you didn't like their pricing model before. Here's the new options. You have 3 ways to use CloudMounter. You can download CloudMounter from the Mac App Store. For some reason, it's called CloudMounter Cloud Encryption. Not sure why it's called that. And you get some of the features I've described here entirely for free. Without ever paying them a dime, you get access to the basic service, but only one connection to each of those services. So the basic service is Dropbox, Google Drive, and OneDrive. You get one connection to those, but it's all completely free. And you do get the option to encrypt any or all of these services. Now, you can also get these single connections to the 3 basic cloud storage services for free through their website at cloudmounter.net if you don't want to use the Mac App Store. Now, if you want the full functionality, including multiple connections to Dropbox, Google Drive, and OneDrive, multiple of each, plus the more advanced options of connections like SFTP and Amazon S3 and Backblaze, you have two options. You can buy a license for $30 from their website and optionally have a lifetime upgrade guarantee for $15 more. So for $45, you pay them once, you never pay them again. Any upgrades they make in the future are yours. I've never seen this idea of a lifetime upgrade guarantee before, and I think it's a really cool idea. Now, if you don't want to pay upfront and prefer a subscription service, you can get that from the Mac App Store version. The subscription service is 3 months for $5, or you can get a year for $15. I like these different pricing models because if you just want to pay once and never worry about it again, you can buy it outright. But if you're not sure you're going to need it in a few years, then you could get a subscription and maybe that'd be a little less expensive. And if your usage is more limited, like you only need one account of each of the basic cloud services and want the benefits of encryption and saving local storage space, you can go for the free model. I think that CloudMounter solves a lot of problems we all run into with cloud services. It's unique in the industry and it's simple and intuitive to use. They have a good pricing model that ensures their continued development, and yet they still offer some limited tools for free for those with more limited needs. Remember, the encryption capability is available on the free tier. You can find CloudMounter at cloudmounter.net. Okay, somewhere in there I said two and it was spelled T-O and it should have been T-O-O. Oh, there it is. It was T-O. You have T-O. Let's see. You have T-O. What did I miss while I was gone, Steve?
It looks like John bought the Wisecam. He hasn't.
Oh, did he?
He hasn't received it yet, though.
So, John, did you get the? Did you pre-order the Wisecam 2 by any chance? Because I got a really, really interesting email from the CEO of Wisecam because I ordered 2 of the Wisecam 2s, and let's see. Yeah, so I don't know whether you got this email or not, but it was an email from the CEO saying, "I screwed up and it's all my fault." He said in the letter that he challenged his team to put a better sensor in the Wisecam and not increase the price. And when they got the new sensors in, there was dust on some of them, and so they decided not to ship the units. When they got the units, they had this dust on them, and he even included, like in a totally nerdy way, included pictures of the CMOS chips and explaining it. And he said it was totally his fault. It was going to cause a month delay, and he felt really bad about it. And he understood if you wanted to cancel, you can cancel. But just as a sign of good faith, he said one of the things people want is a longer USB cable. So he's shipping all of us longer USB cables. So I thought that was, it was pretty nice. You know, it was just, it's all my fault. I'm the one who screwed up. And so throwing ashes on himself, I thought it was good.
I think we had at least a 6-foot delivered with a 6-foot USB cable. Was he going to do a 50-foot?
No, it said 5 foot.
5. That's less than we got.
By the way, you guys have sent 100 messages since 5:09.
Yeah, we're pretty talky.
Chatty today. I love it.
So Rush is waiting for the version 2. Yeah.
When did Rush sneak in? Hi, Rush.
Yeah, when did he get in here?
All right. So I found that. What's that? Oh, close you.
So did you remember to put in a chapter mark for the previous at the beginning?
For CloudMounter, I did. Yeah.
Okay, good.
But I should probably be reminded to do one right now.
Oh, why don't you do one?
I could. This is going to be Netgear versus Netgear is next. Netgear versus...
The Wi-Fi speed fly-off.
I went around and around on what to call that. Mesh better for you. Oh, I could actually hold one of those in my hand. I think I've got one here. Copy link. It's just in case you want to see what the... It's on anything. Uh-oh.
Don't spill.
No, it's not spilling. It's knocking everything over. Okay, that's going to go there. Knock over my laptop. Oh. Hang on. Here we go. There we go. That's the Orbi.
A little bright.
I don't know how to make it less bright, sweetie. What do you want me to do?
Pull it back.
Pull it back. I'm at
the you're plugged in?
Yeah, they're still plugged in. So it's got a ring around the top. You can see the size of it. It's about the length of my hand. And they're white. And we got ports on the back. So this is the main one. This is the router. And then the second one has the same ports, except it doesn't have one that's white. So it doesn't have a WAN port, but it's got four ports, USB. So I didn't really do a review of the Orbi. I did a speed fly off was my idea.
John cut the cord last week.
Ooh, that's exciting.
That's a big step.
Okay. See if I can find. Okay, here's an example. The last article I wrote was Netgear versus Netgear. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blog posts since I wrote that. I can't find my own stuff. Between Steve and Alistair, geez. I can't get Steve to even talk about cutting the cord.
Nope.
Actually, here's a fun picture. Oh no, I could do this. Copy image. I think I'd do this, couldn't I? There you go. There's the Orbi sitting next to my two Drobos with the Netgear Nighthawk X8 on top of it.
With those 4 beautiful antennas with preamps.
Okay. I think it's time to record. Here we go.
All right, muting.
See. Blinky lights. Yeah, a lot of blinky lights. All right, here we go. You know how I'm always starting my stories with, what problem are you trying to solve? Or before you decide whether to go for a traditional single router or one of these fancy new mesh routers, you really should think about the problem you need to solve, because this is definitely not a one size fits. Okay, that's too many. Too many verbal typos. Let's take that from the top. You know how I'm always starting my stories with, what problem are you trying to solve? Well, before you decide whether to go for a single traditional router or one of these fancy new mesh routers, you really should think about the problem you need to solve, because it's definitely not a one size fits all solution. In August of 2016, I bought a Netgear Nighthawk X8 router to replace my aging Airport Extreme. Now, this was right before the current mesh router craze happened. And I got to tell you, I've wondered for a long time whether I made a mistake buying this router too early. Maybe I should have waited until the mesh routers matured. I met with Netgear at CES, and I happened to mention I was thinking of testing a range extender with my Nighthawk X8. The rep told me to not even consider buying one of those. He said that the only solution for dead spots in your home is to go with a mesh router. I told him I was interested in testing out their mesh router system. Netgear was kind enough to send me their Orbi AC3000 mesh router to fly off against my Netgear Nighthawk X8. Now, I really like this because these are 2 Netgear routers, and they're both about the same price. So I'm not talking about like, oh, is, Eero better than Orbi or anything like that. It's Netgear versus Netgear. So this is going to be, kind of a pure test. Well, my idea was to replicate the tests I ran in 2016 when I bought the Nighthawk X8, where I compared it to the poor old Apple Airport Extreme. As I explained in detail in my article in 2016, and of course I've linked to that in the show notes if you want to learn how I did it, testing the Wi-Fi signal of a router is much trickier than just, launching a speed test app and going, oh man, speed test says this. Well, if you use one of those apps or websites, you're muddying up your data with local network congestion from your neighbors. If you're on a cable modem, for example, there's peering agreements between ISPs, there's server speeds on the other end. There's just so many variables you're introducing that you really aren't testing the Wi-Fi of that router. If you want to create an accurate map of the real speed of just the Wi-Fi signal in your house, you need a different method. In my blog post on my tests in 2016, I explained how I used a command line tool called iPerf to test the true Wi-Fi speed of our routers. First, you hardwire one computer to the router using Ethernet. Then you connect a laptop to the same router, but this time over Wi-Fi. The hardwired computer becomes the server, and the Wi-Fi connected laptop is the client. You launch iPerf from the server side first, and then from the client side, you run iPerf connecting to that server. This setup means you're only testing the speed of the Wi-Fi from the location of the laptop to the router itself. Now, every time you run iPerf, it takes 10 samples and gives you an average Wi-Fi speed. I took 5 tests at each location around the house, so that's 50 samples at each location. Then I tested at 5 different locations around the house upstairs and 5 locations downstairs. So in all, that's 500 tests, and I think that's a pretty adequate sample set, don't you? Well, my strategy was to test the Orbi at the same locations where I tested the Nighthawk X8 a year and a half ago, but I didn't really feel like retesting the X8. I did take a few samples of the Nighthawk X8 speed just to make sure things hadn't changed since I last tested it, and the samples I took matched with what I got before, so I didn't go through all of the 500 tests again for the X8. Now it was time to play with the Netgear Orbi mesh router system. The unit Netgear shipped to me is the Orbi AC3000 that comes with a router and 1 satellite, but you can buy more satellites. This configuration is designed to bathe the house in Wi-Fi of up to 5,000 square feet. Each unit is a white oval shape. It's 9 inches tall, 6 inches wide, and only about 2 inches deep, with a ring of light around the top. Setup is pretty easy with the typical dance of turn it on, connect to the device's Wi-Fi, using a barcode on a sticker on the device, and then let the device find the internet from the information it gets from your phone. Now, I say pretty easy because I made the same bonehead mistake I make every single time I set up a device like this. When I connected to the Wi-Fi network of the Orbi, now remember, the Orbi's not on the internet yet. It's just spitting out a Wi-Fi signal for you to connect to it so it can talk to the phone. My VPN didn't trust that Wi-Fi network, which it shouldn't have because it's never seen it before. But that meant I couldn't complete the configuration. I kept fighting with it, going, what's wrong with this Orbi thing? And it's, but it wasn't anything. It was no fault of Netgear, no fault of the Orbi, and it's certainly no fault of my VPN service. Rather, it's my fault for forgetting about it again. I'm thinking, it's probable that I'm never going to learn because I do this every time. But perhaps if I keep telling you the story over and over again, you won't forget to shut off your VPN when you're doing it. Anyway, assuming you're smarter than me, it's just a few steps using your smartphone or computer to connect to the router and then plug in the satellite unit where you want to have the extra coverage in your house. When the satellite pairs to the router, the ring of light on the top will turn different colors to tell you whether it's too far away from the main unit. We did have to muck about with the satellite to get it to pair at first, resetting and starting over a couple of times, but finally it behaved itself and we were in business. During testing, I moved the satellite to a couple of different locations and reran the tests until I got the best performance out of the Orbi mesh system. If you do end up getting one, this might be a good idea, is to run these tests to make sure you're getting the best possible coverage. So let's talk about my test results. I have to say, I was quite surprised at the results of the testing. The Nighthawk X8 beat the Orbi at an average speed of 338 megabits per second versus the 175 megabits per second of the Orbi. So the Nighthawk X8 was 1.9 times as fast on average. I looked at the maximum speeds of across all of the tests, and the Nighthawk was 1.5 times faster. And looking at the minimum speeds, the worst room in the house, the Nighthawk was 4.7 times as fast as the Orbi. Now, my first thought was that I had to have done something wrong. That can't possibly be right. The Orbi should be beating the Nighthawk. I checked in with Dave Hamilton of the Mac Observer, who's practically done a doctoral dissertation on mesh routers over the last year or two. He published his results of his tests of Eero versus Orbi versus Amplify in late 2016. There's a link to that in the show notes. And he wrote a great article at the end of last year with his suggestions of how to choose the best mesh wireless system for your home. And of course, I've linked to that as well. Well, I explained to Dave my testing process and my test results, and I suggested one of two explanations for my findings. A, Allison's a moron and made some critical error in the testing process. Or B, the radio/antennas in the Nighthawk are so powerful and so sensitive, they actually overshadow the benefits of a mesh router. I also ran my question, stated exactly the same, past my contact at Netgear. I might not have said Allison's a moron. I definitely said that to Dave, but anyway. At this point in the story, I do have to explain something that I learned from listening to Dave talk about routers on the Mac Geek Gab. When you buy a router nowadays, they often have a model number in the format of AC, which means it supports 802.11c, 802.11ac, and then that's followed by a 4-digit number. That number is the sum of the speed of each of the radios in the router. I know you can't add the speeds together to represent the Wi-Fi speed you're actually going to get. That makes no sense. But that's what the industry has settled on as a metric to compare router speeds. So let's do this by example. The Nighthawk X8 I told you about is the AC5300. It has 3 radios, 2 5 gigahertz radios and one 2.4. The 2 5 gigahertz radios each provide a theoretical speed of 2166 megabits per second, and the 2.4 gigahertz radio is supposed to provide 1,000 megabits per second. If you add 2166 plus 2166 plus 1,000 together, you get around 5,300. Hence, it's called the AC5300. The Orbi from Netgear is an AC3000. Again, it has 2 5 gigahertz radios and a 2.4 gigahertz radio, but the 5 gigahertz radios don't have nearly as much power, and one is faster than the other. The 3 radios together are 1733, 866, and 400 megabits per second for a total of AC3000. Now, you know, and I know that adding those numbers together doesn't tell you a darn thing about the speed. Well, the total number doesn't. But if we look just at the fastest radio on each router, the Nighthawk X8 is 2166 versus the Orbi at 1733 megabits per second. But it turns out you can't even compare the 2 fastest radios. When I put the question to Dave and to Netgear, they both explained something interesting. They said that the Nighthawk X8 has 4x4 radios, and even though the first machine I tested with in 2016 only has 2x2 radios in it, the signal from the router will be the best of the 4x4, and that it makes a big difference in speed. So if you have one of the more modern machines, you're actually going to get even better speed. Even more interesting, my contact from Netgear explained that the Orbi uses the fastest radio in the mesh system for what they call backhaul. The backhaul is the communication between the Orbi router and all of the satellites. That means the radio we're using for my tests walking around the house is not the fast one. It's the 866 megabits per second radio. Now, before you start thinking, whoa, that's really slow, it's 866 megabits per second, or nearly gigabit, right? But if you compare the 2166 megabits per second on the Nighthawk X8 to the 866 megabits per second on the Orbi, that's a factor of 2.5. This could easily explain the difference in speed between the 2 routers. Now, if you'd like to learn more about what this whole 4x4 radios thing even means, do not come knocking on my door. It is the road to madness, and Dave has traveled that road. So listen to the Mac Geek Gab and read his articles on the Mac Observer. In any case, I was delighted to learn that I hadn't made a huge technical error in my testing process, but rather learned a lot more about how these routers work and why the Nighthawk X8 beat the Orbi in my house. Now, remember when I started this fly-off by asking what problem are you trying to solve? Well, let's talk to that in hopes of helping guide any decision you may make on this. I've decided that my square, 2-story house, and more importantly, my ability to put my router in the center of my house makes this a configuration that doesn't actually require a mesh system. With a single, powerful, and sensitive router, the worst room in my house is getting 116 megabits per second, which is faster even than my wicked fast Fios internet, and surely way faster than any web services I visit. Now, a better house to take advantage of a mesh router like the Orbi from Netgear is where you have a long floor plan, or in a house where the router and the modem have to be against an exterior wall on one side. These configurations are much more likely to have dead spots far from the router. My daughter Lindsay just bought a 2,400 square foot house, close to the same size as mine, but it's essentially all on one floor, so it's really long with the modem at the farthest end. She also has a 900 square foot basement. I am so jealous. So I put the Orbi AC3000 in her house before I ever got to test one. I bought her one. And so the router's at one end and the satellite is about 2/3 of the way down the house. And their entire home now has great Wi-Fi service throughout. She did tell me recently that her only regret was that I put the Orbi in place on day one in their new house, and I didn't make her suffer with her old Airport Extreme first, so she'd appreciate the Orbi even more. Now, the 2 models of routers I tested are nearly the same in price. I mentioned that at the beginning. The current model of the Netgear Nighthawk X8 AC5000 will run you $250 on Amazon. The Netgear Orbi AC3000 for a 5,000 square foot home will cost you $292 on Amazon. So price is not really a big differentiator here. I mean, it's $50, $50 is $50, but it's it's all about the problem you're trying to solve. I think if you have a lot of trouble getting coverage at distant points in your house and you've tried messing around with wireless range extenders that never worked, the Orbi mesh router system is a great choice. It's relatively easy to set up, and it gives really good coverage. The other consideration is that with the Orbi, you can buy more satellites to put in even harder to reach areas of your house, extending your range even farther. A satellite that extends the range another 1,500 square feet will cost you another $140 on Amazon. Heck, Netgear even sells an outdoor version of the Orbi satellite. If, however, you don't have dead zones at a distance in your home, you might actually get better speeds with the Netgear Nighthawk AC 5000. And I think I said the model number. Man, there were a bunch of typos in there. I noticed I said 100 instead of 1,000 once in the router counting. There it is. And I said M capital B instead of lowercase b. That should have been a lowercase b. Those are the two worst ones. Let me listen to the last piece of that. You might actually get better speeds with the Netgear Nighthawk AC 5000. I'm going to record that last ending again. If, however, please. If, however, you don't have dead zones at a distance in your home, you might actually get better speeds with the Netgear Nighthawk X8 AC 5000. Okay. Whew. That was long. Oh, come on.
That was a long one.
It's another 100 messages since I checked in.
Yeah, very chatty today.
What have you guys been talking about?
Well, people talking about routers. Who's thinking of getting? Sandy's thinking of getting a mesh router.
Steve, you wrote L semicolon AKSD.
Yeah, I was checking the spell checker.
And I'm the one drinking rye here.
No, that was an intentional misspelling.
Was it?
Yes, I did a couple times.
Oh, Kevin called to the chapter mark. I should probably
Yes.
put it in. I was relaxing. I was going to chat and say hi. All I'm doing is working here tonight.
Yeah.
What's up with that? Okay, I need to send that to the blog. Those were the only typos. I think there's a third one in there. I really wish somebody would proofread my stuff. Wait, didn't you proofread that, Steve?
Which one?
The Orbi versus Orbi.
I thought I did. What did you find that was wrong?
The three radios in the Nighthawk should have been 2166, 2166, and 1,000. It said 100. I'm
not checking the data. I'm checking the
No, but
grammar.
I said 1,000, and then when I did the equation, I wrote 100. So it was matching.
So you're looking for consistency.
And it said M capital B PBS.
I don't check consistency.
You gotta get to hire somebody. Steve doesn't make mistakes. Well, he doesn't catch them either. I need Brett. Oh man, that tastes good. I might have a new favorite food. Whoop. Plex. This guy made an idiot of me.
So regarding your question,
which question?
In your blog post or in the podcast post?
Which
about
question?
The cost. You had a comment about the cost
of the routers.
No, Plex. We're
Plex. Yeah.
So I think the standard package is now completely free. The only thing you have to pay for is the live TV DVR service. Yeah.
Does anybody know that for sure? Because that is a piece of this, but there's something else. They say something in their documentation. They say, we give you the apps for free. It's like, well, but the apps are free. That's what I was checking on your phone.
Yeah.
All right. Right. So does anybody Did anybody check into Plex? Actually, Sandy or Denise did, I think.
Check into it.
Yeah, the whole DVR thing. I think Pat did too.
So Brett says, look at Brett's comment.
Advanced artwork and lyrics for the music stuff too. Huh. Interesting. I've got a weird problem with our Plex server. I can't get to it. I'm inside the house on the same network and I cannot get to it. It keeps going, I don't know. I can't find the server's offline. And so I actually canceled my service and then found out that the kids were using it. And they're like, why did you shut it off? And I was like, oh, okay, I'll start paying for it again. And I paid for a year's worth. And then I did this interview where the guy goes, yeah, you didn't need to pay for it. But I still can't get to it. And they get to it all the time. When I'm on my own network, I can't get to it. And I even switch over, like I turn off Wi-Fi, I go only cellular. I can't get to it. And they can. I do not understand it. Scotch or wine. You might want to try this rye. We should show them the rye before we close out, Steve.
All right.
That's a hint. Your color looks
weird.
Very consistent.
Oh, my light went off. I haven't moved around enough.
Hey, wait. Let me do it. Hey, Siri.
Turn my light on.
Turn on Steve's light.
Steve's den light. There you go.
I don't have to say Steve's den light.
I've got the stylish purple going on.
Yeah, now at least your face is a different color. It's like your face is the exact same color of the walls. Let me listen to this. AC 5000. All right, everybody loves Plex because this is so quiet.
Huh?
So everything sounds really good. The playback sounds really quiet to me. But
fine here. Plenty of volume here.
Yeah, it looks good. As we can watch our home movies.
Ow.
We can... What?
That's loud.
What is?
That sounded louder.
I didn't change it.
Okay. I better turn my volume down.
You could hear me coming, right? All right. Back up here. I'm going to do an ad, and I'm not going to tell you with a chapter marker. This week's star NosillaCast away is George Conant, who pushed that big red button that says support the show over on podfeed.com. He chose to use the PayPal button for a one-time donation because that was the right way for him. I love that we have all these different tools for support, so you too can help the show keep running in the way that's right for you. If, like George, you want a one-time donation, you can do that. Heck, you can push it as many times as you want, though. Anyway, if you prefer to have a recurring smaller donation so you don't have to remember to keep helping, go for the Patreon button. Don't have any extra cash lying around? Don't worry about it. Use the Amazon affiliate links to send a small percentage of your purchases to help pay the bills around here. None of those work for you? Then tell a friend or a stranger about the show. It's all good. And thank you to all of you who continue to help the show. All right. Security bits. Oh, I got to get security bits music first. Have I mentioned that I really like this rye?
Several times.
All right. I need a chapter marker here. And I'll say that's 3 bits. Paste. Hey, Gene. Gene would know the answer to this. Whoops. Xpander puts something in the copy buffer, doesn't it? I've noticed sometimes I copy something and then I do a text expander snippet and then I paste and the thing I wanted to paste isn't there. So I think it's using the copy buffer. Is that true? I think it is.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm not an idiot. Well, I'm an idiot, but
it resets it, she says.
Yeah. I do Patreon to support Steve. Let's see. What am I looking for?
And I appreciate it.
Oh, I'm looking for chit chat. No, looking for security bits.
Yes.
There. It's a long security bits. That was 30 minutes. Yeah, I'm glad I kept the Plex thing. Even though it's 30 minutes of mine and then a whole snot load of Bart's.
Good, Sandy. She has an Amazon shortcut to your account.
Ooh, sweet. Oh, NASANet wants to know, can he support? Maybe we should have a button to support Steve. He's the one who buys half the stuff that ends up making the show go, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
The show. So quiet. Well, it's that time of the week again. It's time for... Is that too soon?
A little bit. I'd give it another second.
No, half a second.
3/4. We'll compromise.
Well, it's that time of the week. Well, it's that time of the week again. It's time for Security Bits with Bart Shots from snowing Ireland.
Oh my God! Yes. Yeah. This country has literally ground to a halt. We haven't dared test how deep it is, but our back garden, there's a snowdrift that we think is about 3/4 the height of me.
Oh, jeez.
We're waiting till the weather warms up a little bit, and then we're going to dive into it.
We have been so tempted. Snow angels, right?
Right, we've been so tempted all day, but it actually hasn't stopped snowing. It's now 36 hours, and it hasn't stopped snowing.
Oh, go!
And we had a storm come through, Storm Emma. So imagine 36 hours of constant snow with a storm in the middle. There is just heaps of snow everywhere.
You define?
Oh, no, it's in wind, high wind. So
wind.
Actual blizzard conditions.
Oh, that's fun.
They actually told us, do not leave your house between the hours of 3 p.m. Thursday and noon Friday.
Really? School's closed, I take it?
Sorry, schools were university. Closed. Everything was closed, yeah, because there was a small one to come through Wednesday night into Thursday, and then the big one was supposed to be Thursday into Friday. On Wednesday night, it dropped 25 centimeters of snow, and they were expecting like 5.
Wow.
So we didn't even go into. We've been off Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Wow.
As I said, the country just stopped because we couldn't possibly have enough snowplows and things for this, because the last time it happened was in 1982. You can't justify. Yeah, you can't justify having a nationwide supply of snowplows for once every 36 years. So anyway, we're doing okay though, because actually, this is weird, right? This is going to sound a very strange sentence to say, but the government was really prepared, and although it's caused disruption, it hasn't caused deaths. It hasn't caused. So we went through a hurricane this year, and everything went smoothly, and now we've just gone through a blizzard, and everything's gone smoothly. And next door in the UK, no one heeded their government's advice, and they had all sorts of people stranded, and all sorts of rescues had to be done, and rescue services getting injured, rescuing stupid people.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of impressed that we've managed to survive a hurricane and a blizzard.
Yeah, that is good. We seem to keep more stupidity around than that. But I do need to point out, it is sprinkling here in Southern California as well. So
no,
we have our own crises to deal with, Bart. I'll try to come up with the statistics on the rain level at our house while we're chatting, but I don't know.
I'll have a good chuckle.
Come on. It's as surprising as snow in Ireland. See?
Well, that's it. I mean, that is actually the thing, right? Every country's good, because there was Canadians in Dublin laughing their heads off at how much we're panicking over. Oh, it's a bit of a blizzard. It's like, yes, but imagine all of your infrastructure was gone. How would you deal with it? It's like, oh yeah.
Let's see. We're up to 0.02 inches. 0.02.
0.02
inches. That's 0.51 millimeters.
How do you measure that?
With a rain gauge in our backyard.
Oh, of course, yeah, because the rain gauge collects over like many square inches and then divides by that number of square inches.
Yeah. Anyway, there are parts of Southern California that are in trouble, but we should talk about security. Yes, let's get going.
Okay, so let's start with our quick bi-weekly rundown of Spectre Meltdown.
Okay, enough of that. Time to finish this off.
So that is quite a shot in front of Bart's house.
Now, he was very proud of the fact that he shoveled the snow too. But by the time I recorded with him, this was all snowed over again. So love that I can paste pictures into the chat now. Oh, he's very proud of his shoveling.
That's good. I wasn't listening. Did you state the last time it did this?
Yeah,
Any
well,
good
Bart was
discussions,
2,
Bart?
and Bart is, so that was 36 years ago, I think. I think Bart's 38. So
Wow.
yeah, but imagine that snow in a country with no snowplows. People are like, well, why didn't you have the infrastructure for this? It's like, well, they would be 38 years old. They wouldn't run if we had done that.
It's almost like having snowplows in LA.
Yeah.
Not quite,
thing.
but
Oh, TJ's happy again. Oh, you and Bart are the same age? Such a baby, Brett. 38. We've been married 3 years less than you've been alive. Yep, he's a little baby, isn't he there, Sandy? Nothing to make you feel young like hanging out with us. All right, let me wind up this last piece here.
As I say to everyone, stay patched and stay secure.
Well, that's going to wind us up for this week. Don't forget to send in your reviews and dumb questions, comments, and suggestions. You can send those to me at allison@podfeet.com. You can send the reviews to Bart at podcasting@bartificer.net. You can follow me on Twitter at Podfeet. And remember, anything you're looking for, everything good starts with podfeet.com. We've got, let's see, we were talking in the live chat. Sandy was talking about how she's got a direct link to the podfeet.com Amazon link. You can get that by going to podfeet.com/Amazon. You want to go to Patreon, show your support, podfeet.com/Patreon. You want to go to PayPal. I'm pretty sure that one's podfeet.com/PayPal. If you want to join one of our communities, we've got podfeet.com/Facebook and podfeet.com/Google+. And if you want to join the chat, that's at podfeet.com/chat. And remember, there's no live show for the next 2 weeks. We will be back on March 25th to join the friendly and enthusiastic Nosilla castaways. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. I'm going to miss you guys. I'm a little sad. I was choking up a little bit reading that part.
yeah.
It really is a highlight to get to talk to you guys. Throw my outro music on there. 9 inches of snow, huh, Sandy? Or not Sandy. Gene, that's crazy. Let's see. How about there? Anyways, thanks for listening and stay subscribed. Oh, that's cool, Rick. You're going to be going to Yosemite? Yosemite's awesome.
Yeah.
A little far away from us still. How far is that? Like 6 or 8 hours, maybe?
Yosemite to drive it from here?
Yeah.
It's about 6. Maybe a little more.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, the title of the show. Today is March 4th, right?
Correct.
My folder says it's March 6th. Don't believe it.
No, March 4th. And show number. What?
Save this. And I said it. I said it was show 669.
Correct.
Are we sure?
Yep.
All right. Oh, Brett's got his tickets for MacStock.
Nice.
Anybody else signing up for MacStock? Mac Genie's going to MacStock.
Cool. Looking forward to that, Gene.
MacStock. All right, hour 37. That should be enough. So file, export. Oh, Steve, would you mind going and getting me my my rye?
Right.
And another ice cube? I'll trick him into giving me some. NosillaCast audio goes there. And we're exporting. Did they have a site up yet? Yeah, it's MacStock Expo. I think if you just go to MacStockExpo.com, don't they? Let's see. MacStock Conference and Expo. It's too long. Oh, yeah, Kevin. Register now. Only 138 days. Thank you. So this is the one I'm drinking here. Templeton Rye. Gotta get an ice cube too. It says the good stuff. See, that's how you know this is the good stuff. Yeah, I just wanted some more.
Yeah.
Well, Allison already did it already.com. What is that? What? See, I could have a little bit more. Just a splash. There we go. See, that's just a teeny bit, right?
Half
Over and
a
over
finger.
again. I can't travel alone anymore. They won't let you go out in the with a even with your name pinned to your shirt or anything, Kevin. All right, let me put this where it belongs. That doesn't ever get stored in the right place anymore.
And yes, Rose, there will be a lot of pictures on her Facebook page.
Well, I actually don't post that much on Facebook.
Actually, it's more in your letter.
It's more in my letter. Yeah, if any of you guys want to be on distribution, Steve and I do a letter on all of my trips like this, or all of our trips like this, where I write like a little travelogue, and it's kind of funny. It's mostly pictures, but it's kind of funny. It's got a little
blurb,
running monologue
commentary.
Yeah, if you want to be on distribution for that, send me an email called Vacation Emails, and I'll add you to it. I got a trunkload of people on it. Every year I offer to let people off the list. And in all the years I've been doing it, there's like 70 people on there. Only one person has ever said they want it off. And it was a friend of ours who was actually going to be with us when we were on one of the trips. And she's like, I don't need to hear about Hawaii. I'm going to be there with you. Get me off the list. So that's the only person who said, it was kind of boring. So it's supposed to be kind of fun. So if anybody wants on that, Vacation Emails, add me to the list. All right. What am I doing? I have no idea. What am I doing here? Oh, I got to start. Where'd the audio go? There it is. There it is. All right. Well, I think I am done with the mechanics here. So I might sign off. Again, if you guys want to meet together the next 2 Sundays, you're welcome to meet at 5:00 or anytime, of course, because we'll leave the chat room open. It's always open. So if you guys want to do that, I'd like to raise my glass to you guys. I really am going to miss you guys. I love meeting with you guys every week. You want to say anything, Steve? Mushy?
Yeah, I'm gonna miss y'all as well. But I think we'll be having some fun.
You think so? We'll suffer through.
We'll suffer through.
Is Allison going to miss me? Oh, yes. All right, everybody. Have a great trip. Bye, Rose. All right. I'm disconnected there, and I will turn off the broadcast. Bye, Steve.